All right, welcome everyone. My name is Kelly Hoover. I am hosting tonight's Power of Peptides, and we're so excited. We have some incredible stories that are going to be shared tonight with Kiki, Macy, and Heather. So I can't wait. I had an opportunity to hear a little bit about their stories, and I'm just so excited for you guys to be able to hear them as well. And so we will probably have our special guest pop on at some point. So if Honey Sagari pops on, we'll kind of interrupt and let her share a little bit if she is able to get on. A lot of times she is able to pop on tonight. So super excited you guys are here. So my name is Kelly Hoover. I have personally watched, I found out about really truthfully the power behind peptides about 3 years ago. I started seeing one of my very good friends just really like start on peptides, starting on one, adding another one, and then ended up, watching her life really like transform. And then I personally decided, why not go down the route of losing weight? I had this about 20 pounds, what I thought was going to be around 20 pounds fluff that I just couldn't get rid of. I was doing all the right things. I had been living a healthy lifestyle for a good like 8.5, 9 years, working out, eating correctly, not dieting. I'm not a dieter, but really like monitoring and being very mindful of what I was eating. I spent 15 years of my career in the pharmaceutical industry, and I love to share that I was in the type 2 diabetes market when the GLP-1s first entered the scene to treat type 2 diabetes. And this is 24, 25 years ago. And what is so cool about that is I remember being in the field after they had been out. They were once daily injections to treat type 2 diabetes at that point, of course, at a different dose. And I remember about a year of them being on the market, people saying, the endocrinologists, the doctors saying, wow, patients are losing weight. This is fascinating. And then the drug companies going back to the drawing board and truly like uncovering, like, why is it that people are losing weight and doing the clinical research. And so it's really cool and fascinating, 24+ years to see it full circle and just have, and that is just one of the peptides that we talk about here at LEND, but it's truly fascinating to kind of see, the way that people are really, really, truly transforming their lives. And so for me, it started off with wanting to lose 20 pounds. It started to wanting to shed that 20-pound fluff. And full transparency, I got 20 pounds off of my body, and I was like, oh, girl's a little fluffier than I thought I was. I really thought I had that number in my head because I had never gotten there and been able to stay there, right? So when I lost that 20 pounds, I continued going, and I got down 33 pounds. I've been maintaining right at 6 months and still doing all the same good lifestyle habits that I was doing before. And so I tell you that because you're going to hear Kiki and you're going to hear Macy and you're going to hear Heather's story tonight, and they're all going to be a little bit different. But if you're a guest tonight, we're so glad that you're here, and I want you to just really reflect of what your story could look like in 90 days, what your story could look like in 6 months. Because for me, the 33 pounds was great, but to not constantly think about food, to be able to really understand that I was an emotional eater, I was a stress eater, I was a, procrastination eater. I was that girl who was like, oh, I've got to work solid for an hour, so let me go grab a snack so I can focus. I have severe ADHD. So all of those things, to not have to struggle and to battle with that, which when those things went away from me, I realized that that was a struggle the majority of my adult life. And so really be able to emotionally kind of handle and deal those things, because now I understand them, has been a game changer. The other thing before I toss it over to our first guest, Kiki, is walking into my closet and enjoying getting dressed, because my clothes fit. I had to buy some smaller clothes, but my clothes fit and I feel confident in them. And so those are all things that you have to look forward to when you start your own transformation. So Kiki, I first want to just toss it over to you. I know you're our first guest tonight. You'll have to unmute. But I would love for you just to share, your story and your peptide journey with everyone. And thank you so much for being on tonight.
I am so honored to be on. Thank you for having me. This is exciting. I have been in the health and wellness space for several years now. So I was a health coach after having lost a significant amount of weight in 2020. But what I didn't know was coming was perimenopause. And even though I have known how to take care of my health, nutritionally and exercise and all the things, I found myself completely unhinged. I will just say it that way. If you've dealt with perimenopause or menopause hormonal changes, it can really hit you out of nowhere. And that's really what happened to me. I did not know that was what was going on. At first, it was kind of this slow slide into anxiety and mood swings and irregular periods. But then I started to gain weight. And even doing all the things that I knew to do, I was really, really, really struggling. So that lasted for a couple years. I did go on HRT. I tried to do different, plans and programs, and it just didn't really get me anywhere. And I was just stuck. Let's put it that way. That's the best word I can use to describe that phase of my life. I actually started using semaglutide back last February with a local doctor who is a friend of mine. I ended up not sticking with that, but I had a change of heart and kind of had gone down the rabbit hole of learning about peptides at that point. And I guess I'd gotten just more comfortable with the idea. And so I started on tirzepatide in June. And my goal was just to honestly, if I could sort of get off 10 pounds at that point, I would have been thrilled because I had been so stuck. What I didn't realize is that when you get through kind of that initial 4 to 6 weeks, I was feeling so much better in my body. I actually didn't lose much more than about 5 pounds during that first 6 weeks, but I felt great. And second to my body feeling better, less aches and pains and joints were feeling, better. I had freedom in my brain. And I don't know if anyone on here can relate to, well, Kelly mentioned it, the food noise and just having that sort of nagging thing in your brain constantly. I didn't realize how much that has ruled my entire life. So having that freedom was in itself a win. Honestly, at that point, I didn't really care if I lost any weight. It was really this feeling of like a weight being lifted and sort of like I could really see myself excelling in health just from the way I'm feeling. Fast forward, I have lost 30 pounds. So kind of like Kelly, I sort of was going to be happy just losing something because I hadn't been losing anything for like 2 years. But now having 30 pounds off, I mean, my knees are so much better and I'm really working towards kind of lifelong, I guess, longevity at this point. I'm 46. I'm still in the throes of perimenopause, but let me tell you, my brain fog is gone. Again, I feel good in my body and I'm happier. And I am just here to kind of share that because I feel like the number one thing that I wish I knew when I started perimenopause that I know now is that there's hope. And there is a tool that is absolutely scientifically proven to help us. And I just would say if you're on the fence or unsure, reach out to the person who invited you. We are all learning and continuing to learn about peptides. There's so much more that I'm excited to learn about, but this is just another amazing tool that we can put in our little toolkit, and it's been an incredible journey. So thank you. That's pretty much what I wanted to share tonight.
Oh, I love your story, Kiki. And I see Vanessa in the chat, and I know a lot of people can so relate to that. Just, so many different changes. So I love your story. Thank you so much for sharing. Our next guest tonight is Macy, and I love Macy's story as well. I've kind of gotten to be a witness to some of Macy's story over the years. So Macy, I'll let you unmute and share a little bit with us tonight. And thank you also for being on and sharing your story tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to share my story. So, prior to 2020, I was a full-time fitness instructor, but then we know the entire world shut down. So no more fitness instructor, but I tried to stick with those habits because those are a bunch of good habits to have. But then for Christmas 2021, somebody gave me COVID, and that was super fun. I ended up hospitalized because my oxygen was dipping into the 80s. And so after that, my lungs took forever to recover. So I kept trying to do like little things around the house. Like I would spend time like trying to get up and clean a little bit in like 10-minute spurts. But for the most part, the following 3 months were just spent binge watching all of MasterChef. If you don't know, there's 20 seasons with 22 episodes a season. So that's a lot of MasterChef. And I binged all of it. So, needless to say, fitness instructor habits going out the window. I mean, I'm trying, and like I tried to get on the treadmill here and there, it just didn't happen. So the weight packed back on. Um, and by September 2022, I had gained a lot of weight. Like you don't realize it until you look back on pictures. And I'm like, I really gained a lot of weight. And I still have it. I have a Fitbit scale. So even though I saw the number going up, it just never registered how much I had actually gained. So I decided something's got to give because once I started feeling better, I was trying to get back into working out and doing all the right things. But I'm like, I need a boost. I need some type of help here. So I got on semaglutide for the first time in February of 2023. So this is like a full year and a few months after COVID now. And but I had to go to like my local med spa, which is fine. Like that's where I think a lot of this has started. But I was like so embarrassed. I'm like, what if somebody sees me? I don't want them to know that this is what I'm getting. And a couple times I did run into people and I'm just like, oh, hey, just I'm not here. But I'm just there to do my thing. But I'm still glad that I did it because it did help a lot. So during that time, we decided to move out of state. And so we had moving, we had all of the goodbye dinners with all of our friends and family. And when I go out to eat, prior to semaglutide, I was a full on give me the free rolls, the appetizer, the entree and dessert type of girl. And I could, it's bad. That's not good. And with semaglutide, I'm like, holy crap, I can barely make it past an appetizer. And the way that you get fuller faster and the food noise in general is insane. So from February 2023 through our move, because we also didn't have a fridge for 2 weeks when we got here because it was back ordered. So it was a lot of eating out, but I'm just like, okay, I can't eat as much. So I was able to make all of our fast food, which, it's not great for you, but when you're moving, you got to do what you got to do. Um, but I was able to like have more leftovers. I'm not eating an entire burger every time we were going out for, 2 meals a day. And so I started dropping a bunch of weight. So from about February 2023 to I think about September 23. I lost 20 pounds and that has stayed off. And I got off of semaglutide because I'm like, I think I'm ready to do it on my own now. I can get back into my healthy habits, exercising, watching what I eat, but weight still wasn't coming off. And I found a new primary care doctor down here, and he's just like, move more, eat less. And I'm like, thanks. I've been trying that. It didn't work. I found a holistic doctor down here who helps with hormones. Come to find out, my estrogen was sky high, like over 300, and I have no progesterone in my body. So we started hormone replacement therapy. But in the meantime, my primary doctor made me feel bad for being on semaglutide. He's like, you don't need it. He's like, just, the move more, eat less thing. But it's not just about that. There's so much more to it because with hormones, estrogen being sky high, that is what causes all of that belly fat. And that's why I couldn't lose weight. I'm doing all the right things, but I'm still just feeling terrible about myself, going in a downward spiral because I can't lose weight. I'm doing the things that I'm supposed to do, but nothing is happening. Um, so once I got on hormone replacement therapy, that same holistic place, they also do semaglutide. So I did get back
All
on it with
women.
them, started losing more weight. And then I found Kelly told me all about Ellie. So now I'm doing my semaglutide through Ellie, which is awesome because kind of like what I had said before about needing to go to a med spa and I was embarrassed to do it. Now I don't have to leave my house and it just comes right on over, which makes me super happy. So through the holidays, because I think I started again in November, it might have been October, but I'm down 10 pounds through the holidays. And so altogether so far, I've lost between 30 to 35 pounds that has stayed off, and I'm still going. So I'm really excited about that. And definitely, like Kelly and Kiki have both said, the food noise is a total game changer. I don't feel the constant need to just be like, I'm walking through the kitchen, I got to grab a snack. Oh, I'm at work. What time is lunch? Like just the food noise alone has been a major game changer. So I'm just excited to see semaglutide and tirzepatide help more people, and more peptides help people in all the different ways.
I love that. And Macy, what's so cool is you're right. It's so much more. So many people are like, move more, eat less. And especially as we're aging and we're going through different hormonal changes or anything like that, so many people have insulin resistance. So many people have inflammation in our bodies, and move more, eat less doesn't work, right? And so I love the fact that you really were able to kind of unlock a lot of the hormonal changes and the inflammation and insulin resistance. And start doing that. So congratulations, 35 pounds is awesome. So proud of you. That is great. And thank you for sharing your story. I'm going to introduce our final guest tonight, Heather. I think I saw you on earlier. Yes, awesome. So Heather, I'd love to invite you on and have you share your story with us. And again, thank you for being on tonight and sharing your story.
Hi, Kelly. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me. This is the first time I've ever done this. And I'm super excited and, nervous to share a little bit about my experience. And I see a lot of my friends and family on here. So thank you guys so much for supporting me and listening in. So a little bit about me. I'm a high school teacher, and I am crazy busy. And I know we all say that, and it's true for all of us. I'm a mom, I'm a teacher, I'm a wife. I run a nationally recognized journalism program at my school. I also do the yearbook, so I do two massively big publications at my school. I'm on the boards of admission for a local country club. I'm on the board for my children's lacrosse team. I'm a coach for 4th and 6th grade lacrosse, and I am the team mom for their travel. Like, you get it. I am just all over the place. And a couple years ago, I was feeling like things weren't right. Things were fluffy, and things were, my body wasn't feeling the same. And I went to one of those local med spas and I said, you guys got to help me. And they did. They put me on Manjaro, and I had a 0.5 dose of Manjaro that really worked great in lowering my inflammation and helping me shed some of those stubborn pounds. That I had massive side effects to it. And I was like, this is too much for me. I loved the weight loss. I loved the way I looked, but it was too much of a dosage for me. And I said, this something just doesn't feel right here. So I always said to myself, wouldn't it be amazing if I could find a little bit less of a dose? If there was something like microdosing that I could find out there. And lo and behold, I found LEMD, and the microdosing of the tirzepatide was exactly what my body needed. And I love that Kiki and Macy both mentioned the inflammation, because what I find is that when I take the smallest amount of tirzepatide, my inflammation goes down. I mean, I literally feel like somebody stuck a pin in me, and the inflammation just goes. And what that helps me with, which I feel so great about, is that I want to protect my lean muscle mass. So I got back in the gym, and I go to the gym 2 to 3 days a week, and I am lifting weights, and I'm finally feeling strong again. And I think being able to be comfortable in my skin and comfortable enough to get back into the gym and start working out has made such a positive impact for my health overall. My ability to run around on the field with those athletes, my ability to chase my kids around, my ability to go skiing with my best friend who's on here this weekend and feel good, that my bones feel good and my joints feel good. And I'm in great cardiovascular health now. And I'm protecting, my kidney and my liver, and I'm having all these cognitive benefits from just this teeny tiny dose of tirzepatide. So I actually want to talk about a different one too. Nobody's mentioned yet NAD, which I'm loving, because NAD has been so great for that brain fog and that energy level and that cellular repair, and really getting to the root of what these peptide chains do, what these amino acids do, is that they remind us and they remind our cells what they used to act like when we were young. And they're like, hey, cells, get back on board. I have energy and I want to be active with my kids. And it really helps me to get back in the game with my kids, that muscle recovery and that lack of inflammation. And I have a history of dementia in my family, and the neuroprotective qualities that come from these peptides really make me feel like I have made a good choice for longevity, that I am going to get the best years out of my years now, and that I'm not just going to exist and be tired and wake up and drag myself to a pot of, I drink tea, not coffee, but you get what I'm saying, grab that caffeine to get me going, that I'm waking up rested and I'm waking up with energy to battle those high school teenagers every day and then come home and wrangle my tweens and their endless trips to Sephora and Starbucks. And I'm able to keep up with it. And I'm loving it because I'm doing research and I'm an educator, and I'm like nerding out on all the research of all the benefits of these peptides. And I'm so excited for, BPC coming out. And I just am really into making the best of the time I have here and making sure I enjoy every moment with my kids and with my family. And, I know Hane says it all the time, keeping my friends around longer. Like, I want to share this so that my friends know that there are ways to reverse that aging process. And there are ways to biohack and live the best years yet. We don't, one of my friends who's also on the call said to me, Heather, I met you when you were in your 30s, and I think you look better now than when I met you. And that meant so much to me because I feel better. And I really am just so excited to share this with people and answer questions and keep healthy, have everybody, get on the bandwagon here and just realize that this is such a good thing for longevity and making the most out of our time. So thanks, Kelly. That's what I wanted to share tonight.
Yes, I love it. So many key points. And it really is about you never know, right? You never know like what is ahead of you. So really fulfilling every day and feeling and living the best that we can every single day. And I love how you just wrapped that in a bow, and it was like so good. So thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your microdosing story and your NAD plus story. So I love that. And you guys, what we will do now is I just want to offer, if there's anyone else that is on the call that just wants to pop on and share a quick little story, we just have about 2 or 3 more minutes. If anybody else is like, hey, I have a little tidbit I want to share too, I'll just open up the mic. And if anybody else wants to share, I would love to have you. Everybody's being shy. That's okay. That's okay. All right, you guys. Well, thank you all, everyone.
Kelly, I can pop on real quick.
Yes, share.
Okay, so everyone tonight is amazing and sharing and being vulnerable. I love it. That's how we grow, right? Is when we're transparent and vulnerable and sharing our testimonies and allowing people to grow with us. So I love them. The one thing that I think in my journey was that no one talked about tonight. I love that we talked about microdosing and GLP-1 and tirzepatide. Sermorelin. That has been a game changer for me. I would say after I had my 4th baby, that was the first peptide that I came in contact with. Was Sermorelin, and it helped me to build some muscle, which increased the fat burning after I had the 4th baby, before I was in perimenopause. And I'm also on it now that I'm done with my weight journey, the weight release journey. I'm now doing Sermorelin and building a ton of muscle, and the most fit that I've been in, and it really helps me with my sleep cycles as well. My dad has been taking it, and also my boys take it, and they're athletes, so it has helped to prevent injury and helps them with their growth. So I just wanted to pop on real quick and encourage everyone to check out all of the peptides that we have, because it's not just weight release. There are so many peptides, so many pieces to our longevity that I love that Honey has made this amazing functional telemedicine company that we can just what was her name? I can't remember her name, who spoke second. Hop on our phone, fill out the form, share what we're going through right now, and have a telemedicine doctor that's available. And then the peptides come straight to the house. That is like the most convenient thing for me as a mom and busy working and doing all of the things. And so it's just really great to have that there. And yeah, that was all I wanted to say.
I love
Sorry.
it. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yes, thank you so much. And it is so true to have the convenience. I love that Macy brought that up of just not having to go somewhere. Macy, I was very similar when I first started. I did the exact same thing. I went somewhere in the next town over because I didn't want anybody to see me because I was embarrassed. And now I realize like how silly that was. But in the moment, that's how I felt. I felt very, very shamed around it. And I think it's because it wasn't as normal as it is now. Now it is much more common. And most of the time, if you've seen somebody lose, 15, 20, 30 pounds in the last year, they probably were taking a GLP-1. So, but I love the fact that you brought up Samorlin. There are so many other peptides that LEMD offers. So what I would ask of you now is we will conclude this call. Thank you guys so much for sharing. But if you're a guest, please get back with the person who invited you tonight. If you're watching the replay, please get back with them and have a conversation with them. Like, what are your next steps? Just like Macy and Vanessa both mentioned, you simply go to the referral link. You can choose which peptide you want. If you want, more than one, you want the weight loss, you want microdosing, NAD, Samorlin, and then you go through a medical intake form, a patient questionnaire. And depending on what state you live in, it goes directly to the doctor that is medically licensed in that state. They review all of your information. If they have questions or concerns, they will contact you and talk about that. For the most part, you will be approved, right? And you will get approved and the product comes directly to you. During that time also, you will receive an email from Ellie educating you on, proper techniques and safe techniques of how to do injections if you have not done that before. Also, if you are doing the weight loss GLP-1s, Ellie sends you an incredible little care package along with your product that it includes a book. It includes a tape measure. It includes, ways to be able to write down your journey and education on protein. I would also invite you to a Facebook community that we have, a longevity Facebook community. If you're not a part of it, ask your person who invited you tonight to invite you into that group because it is a wealth of knowledge. It's a great place for you to go and learn, and you can certainly ask questions as well. So thank you again, Kiki, Macy, and Heather, and Vanessa for sharing tonight. We will have this recording up in probably just about an hour. So, all right, you guys have a great night. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a good evening.